Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Blazer Victory Podcast. John Duncan here, and of course, I'm joined as always with both of my co-hosts, Darian Smith and Jimmy Marion. And we've got another game recap episode for you all today. But before we get into the actual game, this game recap episode is brought to you by Cahaba Brewing Company. And today we just want to spotlight the Cahaba Lager. Really good lager. If y'all haven't tried it, it's only 5% ABV, medium bodied, just so smooth and so good taste. It tastes phenomenal. So get down into the tap room and try their Italian lager. But you can always go to cahababrewing.com and check out all the events that they have in the tap room. I believe this Saturday they're having a beers giving. Where they're going to have some special beers on tap in the tap room and also some spirits. So y'all get down to Cahaba Brewing and tell them that y'all heard about Cahaba on the Blazer Victory Podcast.
Hey, John,
yeah.
I think we need to renegotiate with Cahaba because I'm pretty sure this year that we've sent them more business than normal.
Hey, we might need to. Yeah, I was gonna say we might need to. Like the last few people, even a couple at Memphis, like they were like, "I'm drinking Cahaba beer." Yeah, I was like, "All right, man, hey, that helps us out." So yeah, we might need to get back to the table. Yeah,
this year is. I know it's been more than usual, and I want to apologize to the listeners. Because we've probably really been like pushing. we probably got a couple of y'all signed up to go to a couple classes for alcohol abuse this year. I always go check out the Cahaba Lager. I just wanted to try to make some light of something here.
Yes, definitely. Well, shout out to YouTube, and you are going to see a screenshot if I can get it pulled up. Guys, can y'all see this?
Yes.
Okay. So UAB loses. UAB is embarrassed second straight year by its rival, the Memphis Tigers. And as you can see, Blazer Pod on YouTube. For those viewing, if you're listening, click the link in the show notes. Go ahead and subscribe for us. This is my daughter, Nora Kate, walking out of the stadium. Early, we left midway through the fourth quarter, by the way, and this was still her reaction. And the caption is, and my wife tweeted this, Elizabeth, follow her at eBeth Hampton, shout out, my wonderful wife. Blazer fans walking out of Liberty Stadium last night, and that was Nora on her birthday, walking out of the stadium.
Lord,
this, if we could have a picture to sum up this season. This picture.
No, you know what we need. We need the other disappointed John.
Oh no, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, let me stop. I'll stop sharing right quick, and I'll find that. Yeah, shout out to Dave. Yeah, where's it at?
The other I said, well, look at my brother. He looks so sad over there. He's just like, enough is enough, you know.
Right now, I feel just sad for everybody. Everybody that's listening that has a birthday, during the months of, September through December. Like, I'm sorry. Like, hopefully your birthday didn't land on a UAB football day. I'm luckily in May, so I don't have to worry about UAB football ruining my birthday.
Here it is.
I'm numb. They can't hurt me anymore. It doesn't matter.
I should have just went to a tropical destination this year. Y'all have been on my case these last few years. Like, John, Don't go to the beach. Don't go to a tropical. It brings us bad luck. Maybe it would have brought us good luck this year.
I haven't seen this. I'm ready to see this. What is this?
Disappointed John.
It didn't even look like you.
I know. I was gonna say, it
is.
John didn't even look. He really doesn't look like himself in this photo.
And y'all know. And y'all know, how vocal I am at games, but these last few games, I've just been like,
just hurt.
Hey, they sell beer in there, right, John? Like, it's not.
Yeah, they did. They did. Now, granted, it was like $20, so I didn't buy one, but I had a few Cahabas before. But
this is real pain. This is it right here. You can't say nothing. This is like. Have you ever watched a movie and they got the bully in the beginning of the movie? The bully is like, shut up, jerk. Right? He just push you. And the guy's just so scared because he hasn't learned to speak up for himself yet. And he's just like, that's John. That's John.
Yeah.
Just And that's
John.
Memphis. Memphis is just like, shut up, small fry. We're gonna score on you again, and you're gonna like it. We're just like, yeah.
I'm just scared. I'm just scared what that picture's going to look like a year from now. For another year of this.
Hey, I can guarantee damn to you that this was probably my last away game for a while for football.
I don't blame you.
Specifically. So
Yeah,
Go somewhere else.
Why go? We literally haven't won an away game.
How many days, Jimmy? How many days?
Hey, as of today, it's been 724 calendar days since UAB football has won a road game. What the hell? 724.
Rock bottom.
Yeah.
Rock
Like
bottom?
somebody put a graph up. I can't remember what Twitter account that was. Was it Auburn Blazer or was it like
Might have been Auburn Blazer, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the graph and it was like away game wins.
That might have been Blazer Nation. Hold on, yeah, Blazer Nation.
Oh, Blazer Nation, yeah. Neil Callaway at 17-some%. Garrick McGee at 15-something%, something like that. Like
Ooh.
Bill Clark at 51.
Go.
Weird. Look.
Yeah, I haven't seen this.
Shout out Blazer Nation, yeah.
Oh. Oh no. Oh, 0.
Hey, my fault, Blazer. I thought I retweeted it. I'm gonna retweet it now. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought I retweeted that. Yeah. Shout out, follow
0.
Blazer Nation. Yeah.
One
Blazer Nation.
I mean, Trent Dilfer didn't deserve to be at the top of this. He should have put Trent Dilfer at the bottom. That's the only problem with this graph, in my opinion. Just put him down at the bottom, please.
Yeah, kind of flip. Yeah. But I guess it was like he was like
crazy,
most
bro.
recent. Yeah.
I mean, we play Georgia and Alabama on the road every week, right? It's it's a tough schedule. I mean, that's the issue.
Oh yeah, Louisiana Monroe, man. Oof.
Oh yeah, that
Not
was
even
rough.
bowl eligible right now. Yeah. Well, anyway, about this game. I mean, seriously, there's nothing that I will say. The touchdown drive at the end of the first half. By the way, I missed because Noah had to go potty, so I had to take him to the bathroom, and I missed the score and the 2-point conversion. I think Terrell McDonald had the 2-point conversion. So 18-8 at half. You're looking at
with
like,
the ball,
okay, yeah, with the ball coming out.
Second half adjustments.
And the second half.
We're a good second half team.
Hey, listen, we finished strong every game.
Hey, can I give you all a stat just while we're talking about this? So UAB, this is the second straight week that UAB is getting up 21 or more points in the fourth quarter. UAB has now been outscored in second half by a total of 109 points against FBS competition and by 69 points in the fourth quarter alone against FBS competition. That's just getting smacked in the second half.
Finish it strong, baby.
Hey, and we talked about it in the preview. No disrespect to Memphis. Obviously, we don't like Memphis. Rival. 9-2 now, but all respect. But we just beat ourselves. Like, Jimmy, what was it was the Troy game. So that was their most lopsided win before the UAB game against an FBS opponent. And wasn't it only like 20 points or wasn't it like, it wasn't by a crazy amount.
Yeah, well, I'll say this first, as I heard in the broadcast. I think this was Memphis's largest margin of victory against an American Athletic Conference team since like 2019. So, I mean, despite it being close, as we talked about there in the first half, I mean, a lot of people were just going to look at that final score and see that ultimately it was not close. Other games they had, that being Memphis this season, first and foremost, that's what I was going to talk about too, is that, all the other former Conference USA teams kept it close. We talked about that in the preview show, right? UAB's been the only former Conference USA school that failed to keep it at least competitive against Memphis. Charlotte, Rice, and North Texas all kept it within one score, and UTSA won outright. So, I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. And just overall throughout the year against FBS opponents, I mean, they beat Middle Tennessee by, I think it was like 17 or 18 points. Troy was 21. You're right. To answer your question, John, Troy, they beat by 21. That was their largest margin of victory. this season, unless you count North Alabama.
We suck.
Dude, this is so bad. This is so bad.
Is it any more, like, is anybody else more down bad than us? Like, really? Are we really that down bad?
I was gonna say, like, there been some teams in this league that their fan bases have been down bad, but you know what? They made changes. FAU, Temple, Charlotte, Rice,
East Carolina,
and then North Texas letting their defensive coordinator go after that abysmal performance against UTSA.
Wait, you can make coordinator changes mid-season? I didn't know that was a thing. You can do that?
I guess so. I guess it's allowed. But in all seriousness, like, UAB and Tulsa are like the only ones that I don't know if they're waiting on each other to, like, you know, what's the Spider-Man meme? The picture of the point. Yeah, it's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Like, I promise you, they had to have. Mark Ingram had to have called the Tulsa AD, like, hey man,
hey man, listen, don't do anything. Yeah.
Hey, Mark Ingram's talking to the Tulsa AD. He's like, hey, did you do a fully guaranteed contract for your guy too? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
What's the buyout on your guy?
Look at Biff Poggi. What was it? Just $1 million.
It's 1.3.
Yeah.
Y'all. Okay. That's UAB's buyout for Trent Dilfer is 3 times that. 3 times, not 2 times, 3 times.
This is so bad, guys.
Like, y'all, like, there has to be a reason for this. Like, did y'all find anything in the contract? Like, was it some kind of language that were, you know, maybe he took less on the front end and chose security on the back end? Like, I'm trying to understand, because I don't know anything Trent Dilfer did to earn that. If anything, I thought that it was inside, and I was like, well, our high school guy, the buyout should be like $400,000 or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking in my head before I knew the contract details. Like, it's kind of like you take a gamble, but you can get out of it because he has to prove something. Bill Poggi came from Michigan, right? He was on the field at Michigan. Like, Tom Herman led Texas.
Yes.
You know, and what has Trent done? He was a high school coach. I don't understand. Like, for the life of me, I don't understand why is this like natural? Is it? I thought maybe it was just average for American coaches. But then when you told me about Biff's, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, bro? Like, what? Or was he guaranteed at least 3 years somehow, some way, and a wink handshake kind of? You get at least 3 years, you know.
Well, after Ingram heard the whole pitch from Dilfer and he said, I'm bringing in some of the greatest minds in football.
He's a salesman.
History.
He is a salesman.
He was like, I know people. I know billionaires. I'm going to, NIL. Like, I've got a vision for this. Look at my Super Bowl ring and my replica trophy. And do you remember me on TV? I used to make really funny remarks and make up words on TV. And, Mark Ingram's like that guy we're talking, before the podcast. If you're at an auction, you're auctioning for a car. It's like, all right, we're going to start the bidding at $100. And Mark Ingram goes, oh, and then first goes, $100. And Mark Ingram's like, I'll give you $1 million. And it's like, sold. And it's like, who are you negotiating against? Like, you don't need to do that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Trent probably does have a damn good agent. I mean, he's been around, not as a coach, but he's been around this football industry, so I'm sure he has a good agent. And I mean, let's talk about where we go from here. I mean, if y'all came to this episode expecting a deep dive analysis of the Memphis UAB game 53-18, you're not gonna get that. That was our
ass whooped all year, bro.
I mean, it's the same old.
No more, man. We got our ass whooped again. How about they go to deep dive?
I should have titled the episode "Same Old, Same Old." Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I say this? Not only are we getting that butt whooped, but do you remember one of the selling points of coming into this new conference was we were going to be on TV? Remember we had to play. Remember, if you wanted to watch a UAB game in Conference USA, you might get CBS Sports. Other than that, ESPN Plus. Hell, you might have to listen to the radio. I mean, even going back to days where they like search on like pirate websites to get. I remember watching basketball.
The
games,
stadium
get, like,
feeds, yeah.
the stadium feed, and you're like, what the hell? You know, the other team would
CUSA
score.
TV.
Yeah, the other team would
Facebook.
score, and then you would see like the the replay of the other team scoring. You miss your team scoring. It's like, this is why we couldn't grow our fan base. But we're going to join the American Athletic Conference because we're going to be able to get more eyeballs in this program. Look at this beautiful state-of-the-art facility, possibly the greatest football stadium in history. And you know what's happened since we've joined the American Athletic Conference is UAB's played 10 games on national TV. That is including CBS Sports and ESPN. UAB is 1-9 in those games. Again, for years, UAB did not have the opportunity to build and promote its brand. And now we're on there 10 times and we've won one game. And that one game was against, I think we won against FAU, I want to say. It was either FAU or South Florida.
Probably. Yeah.
But we got to take advantage of those opportunities, man. That's just been one of those things that's like been another issue. So
I wish this Memphis game would have been on BN Sports instead of ESPN too. But I mean, hey guys, seriously, if you're Mark Ingram, what do you do here? Like, do you
hide?
I mean, this is bad, especially if Tulsa makes a move like that. In my opinion, that almost kind of forces you to like, hey,
Can we get Tulsa? Like, do they have a podcast? Can we get them on here? We can just do this together and be like, hey, let's.
Good idea.
Yeah, like let's just talk. How do we make this happen? Who's gonna do it first?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I think we already look silly. Well, like let's just say compared to FAU. I think we have comparable basketball teams, like just based off success, and I think we have comparable football, but. They went after the bigger fish and got Tom Herman. They got him. He sucked. They fired him. They got him out of here, and he had a $4 million buyout. You know, Trent said 3.6. They made that decision quick. He's out. And I think that right there already applied pressure because it's kind of like they just look more serious than we are. They look like they are more bought in than UAB is. Just off that. And then for freaking Charlotte. I know his buyout was way less, but still, for them to just be like, nah. And why I'm bringing up those two teams because they were hired the same year,
yeah,
you know, as Trent, right? So was Tulsa's coach. Now we talking about Kevin Wilson. I mean, not Kevin Wilson, but if we talking about Drayton at Temple and East Carolina's coach, those guys had been there. You know, like Rice, those guys had already been there for a while. So you can say, oh, there's apples and oranges, whatever. Well, you have two that were same year, same conference out. One with the higher buyout.
Yeah.
Out. So it's kind of like that's where the pressure to me is coming from. And if Tulsa, I know Kevin Wilson was hired the same year too. If Tulsa makes a move, and so it's either if Tulsa makes a move or. And I hate this because now we're going against two teams. Our last two games will be against Rice and Charlotte, both whom have head coaches that are fired. They have interim head coaches. We're at home against Rice. Rice has won, 3 games this year? We are underdogs. We are underdogs to Rice at home with the interim head coach. Think about that, y'all. Man.
It's rough. Senior day, to your point, Darian, 3-win Rice, interim head coach, and we are like near a touchdown underdog.
Isn't that sad?
It's unreal.
And like I don't think there'll be 10,000 there, and that's so sad for senior day. I'll be there. I'll be in the stands.
I don't know.
Probably for the last time. Yeah.
To answer your question, what does Mark Ingram do? I mean, it's tough. Obviously we as fans, like I as a fan, you know, it seems obvious. It's like, hey, it's not working out. And I'm just looking at this like objectively. So everyone's looking at that $3.6 million buyout. It's hefty. It should have never been that amount. Let's just get all those bases covered. But the likelihood of Trent Dilfer turning this around by this time next season is not likely, because you're looking at trends and you're looking at recruiting and you're looking at, ultimately how the team has performed. And now we have a even larger sample size. What gives you hope? You can say, hey, we have Kitna, who is very talented, top 10 pick talent, but also turns the ball over 3 times a game. You have BB in the backfield. You might have a couple young guys here and there, like Corey Milner. We could try to sell this, and we might have to in about 6 months. We might be sitting around being like, Corey Milner in spring ball, step forward, like it might be one of the best, receivers in the conference.
And he had a good game against Memphis.
He did. Yeah. I like Corey Milner. So like we could try to do that whole sale job or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's not likely he's able to turn this around. He has not embraced the fans and has not built a community here. He talks all the time about the city. Well, the city ain't coming to your games. How about you embrace your fans who actually will show up and listen to this podcast, and people like John that support the program and travel and all that good stuff. Why don't you try to embrace them? Because at the end of the day, they're going to be all that's left. The city will come out when you beat the top 25 team. The community will support you after you become relevant, because there's too many competing priorities. But I'm going to get off that soapbox for a second. So my point is that if this were to continue from a year from now, the buyout would drop to 2.4, 3.6 to 2.4 is at 1.2. So you're talking about, that's the money that you're really looking at right there, is it worth that 1.2 to keep said person another year? And I would argue that it's not, because you're going to pay a buyout anyway. You cannot tell me, no matter who is at the helm, that if we win 2 to 4 games again next year, that you're keeping the same staff intact again after 3 years. There's just no way. So that's a number I'm looking at. If I was trying to make an objective decision about it, I would look at the opportunity to let go of Dill for now, and make a new hire. And then if you're going to make a new hire, you are probably going to have to choose someone that has a very low buyout or no buyout, meaning that they're not coaching a Division I team right now. Someone like Skip Holtz. I don't think he has a buyout with the Stallions. I don't know how that works. But
he's making less than $1 million, so he ain't going to.
Yeah, so it's okay, well, I was wrong about Skip Holtz. I'll just say that right now. I didn't want you to be the
Darian.
Skip Holtz last time.
We'll be the first one to admit
I led the charge against Skip Holtz because of, if you look at everything and how it was setting up going into it, we were supposed to be looking for a bigger fish. At that point, I felt like after Bill Clark, that's why I thought hypothetically at that time, I'm like Tom Herman, Dan Mullen type of hire, somebody with some name recognition that's done it at a high level before. That can probably take us to the next level. Kind of how Lane Kiffin did with FAU. That's what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? And
Signetti.
Oh, listen.
Darren, you want to talk about that?
I led the charge on Signetti. I was going down wormhole after wormhole. Like, guys, we need to go all in on this dude, man.
And I was giving you pushback. I was like, Darren, he's too old, man. I don't know. But hey, I was wrong.
I wanted Signetti so bad. I just felt vindicated by seeing Indiana, and I was like, we could have what we could have had.
It could have been, yeah.
Maybe he had no interest. But I felt like this is where I felt the reason I wanted to push for somebody like that. I felt like UAB was at that precipice where we was like, you know what, we're going to go all in. Signetti, we're going to make you one of the top paid American coaches, $3 million. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Just go for it. And it paid off. I think at some point you have to make a leap like that. But right now, I know what I'm looking for in a coach. I'm not looking for somebody that's egotistic. I'm looking for somebody that's forget all of the big talk we got in. I know I got enamored by all of the CFP, the greatest era. The salesman sold me. I am not. I don't listen to any of that.
Hey, what's the saying, bro? Fool me once. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah. Or no, shame on me.
Oh no, yeah.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
That's right. We ain't gonna get fooled again.
So now I know what the list. I want somebody that's just gonna, hey, let's try to win. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna play the best that we can play. Honestly, that's what we're gonna do. We know our identity. We're gonna practice that, and we're gonna let the results speak for themselves. We're gonna build practice by practice. Not every practice is the best practice in the world. I know that because I can play. Every practice, every week isn't the best practice. Or guess what? We would be winning games. You can't sell me. I don't believe any of that anymore. Because you hear this stuff and then you listen to the game. This guy's a top pick. This guy has the talent to be a top pick. But the guy that had the talent to be a top pick and had almost $1 million in NIL, he's in witness protection. They put cameras in front of his face every turn in Jacob Zeno. Every turn.
Where is Zeno? Where is he?
And then
what's his availability for this week?
Listen, then all of a sudden we don't know. It was just kind of like, first of all, we didn't even know he got injured. It's kind of like, yeah, he got this shoulder thing. Like, yeah, we gotta see. And then it's kind of like no kind of update, no kind of official diagnosis of what happened to the shoulder, right? It's just like it was just it was just the shoulder, man. We're gonna monitor. And we're like, when did that happen? What hit? Can y'all point? We didn't know, and it was just questionable for 1 week. And then next thing you know, it's kind of like you get to this week and John's like, hey, what about Jacob Zeno? He's out. And you just expect us to eat. That's what I don't like. That's disrespectful towards your fans. It's treating us like dummies. And people, we are. What are we supposed to do when you did this? You forced them and said you promised he's a top pick. He's this, he's that. Man, top quarterback. If any, I don't kind of promise he probably said something about Heisman at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like he just was going in, and then all of a sudden, there's no update, no injury update, no camera in his face.
He's still on the 2 deep.
He's on the 2 deep. Nobody knows. He hasn't done an interview. He hasn't spoken with jocks or nothing. Just nothing. He was doing. Y'all remember he was doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So what's going on, bro? Like, let him talk. He can't talk to anybody. Like, so you mean to tell me we just supposed to believe? I don't know nothing. I don't know anything that's going on with that. But from just the outside looking in, we just supposed to believe that that's just what it is. A throwing shoulder. I mean, an injury to the non-throwing shoulder. No diagnosis. Yeah. Out of the blue. He just never got better. You don't say nothing. He don't say nothing. And it's kind of like when you tell John something like he's out, it's kind of like a way of saying, stop questioning me.
Yeah, don't ask me about it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why. So now you got people wheels turning because it's like, is that why you hired a high school defensive coordinator and Alex Morton the first time offensive coordinator? Because at the end of the day, who's going to challenge you?
Amen.
Who's going to challenge you? Who's going to
Trent still called plays in the Memphis game.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to feel for Mort. Like you've got to feel for him and others on the staff. Like this is such a mess. And hypothetically, if changes are made, and we all three agree that it's probably not going to happen. But if there's somebody that comes in to replace Trent, it's going to be rough, man. Because you're going to need a lot of people that are going to be leaving, and just the cupboard was bare, really bare. He talked about how Bill and BV left him with those weak players. But yeah, with those weak players, yeah. But it's going to be worse. But you know what? UAB has amazing facilities. Protective Stadium blows the Liberty Bowl out the water, even after that construction is going to finish. We've got
maybe not Louisville.
The volleyball practice facility.
Oh my God.
Louisville, they pick from a different.
Has he done anything right?
Go ahead though.
Has he done anything right with this job? He just says the wrong thing. He doesn't give a dang about what he says. He doesn't give a dang about the fans. Like,
because he considers us as noise. That's the problem. How many times has it came out of his own mouth where he said, I block out the noise. I block out the noise. I just block out the noise. Well, everything isn't noise. Everything isn't just noise. It's true. What we're saying now, people may say is harsh. You know, he's trying his hardest. I know people in that building, they are trying. They
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah. Me
But
too.
but then you have the truth as well. What is going on? What have we said here that's not factual? Is what I'm saying.
Mm-mm.
Jimmy, have you
But he,
said something that did you just lied about? I mean, I feel like Trent lied about stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But
dude,
but, but
he
real
said.
quick. Oh no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing that he said on Sunday was that they were asking him, I think, about the second half adjustments or it was turnovers. It was on one of those topics, and he had said, I'm paraphrasing here, but like, we've tried everything. Okay, well, if you tried everything, it's time to get somebody new in that can try
I was
something
gonna
different. Because
say if you tried everything.
if you've done everything, then you've done everything. Thank you. Your time is you're good to go now, sir. Um, but I didn't
Practice
want
was
this
good.
part to get.
Practice was good.
Practice is always good. I didn't want to get 2024 national practice champions, the UAB Blazers,
9 and
and
0. What do you
nine
say?
and zero,
They said
and
would have been 9 and 0
God,
going into this game.
give
So
us a
we
break.
we were officially the Liberty Bowl runner-up champions from this past week's bowl game. We're the first team ever to play a bowl game in mid-season.
They didn't come to the zoo with me, man. I was hoping that people would pop
Yeah,
off the
I
bus
mean,
like, come on, the zoo.
what a great bowl. Was it a great bowl game environment, John? Was there a lot of
Oh
celebration
man.
and stuff going on?
Oh man, a lot of blue and black celebration. Yeah, that's for sure.
so
Um,
like the things that he say that just like piss me off, and I feel like it's a kind of a way to kind of be not take accountability. If we go back to last week before the Memphis game, when he was talking about the second half running the ball, was that on Mac and Q? What he was talking, or was that against or was that the coach's coffee, whatever?
I think Steve asked him about this was about the UConn game, second
Yeah,
half running the ball. BB. I think Steve asked him about it in the post game presser.
yeah. So when we go to that, and he said something about running the ball, and he was all, you can tell he was already ready. He was like, yeah, I thought I was going to see more opportunities to run the ball, but really it was the turnovers. And that, see, stuff like that pissed me off because we had the ball on like our own 20, up 20-6 in with like a minute or so left, or I can't remember, but it was in the third quarter. Just hand the ball off, but you decided to throw it on first down on play action for no reason. That was an opportunity to run ball. You decided to do the pop pass thing to Cam Shanks. You know, you decided to do the screenplay. Run the ball. That's the opportunity to just run the ball, because Lee Beebe he had over 100 yards in the first half. But yet you're telling us that, hey, I didn't see the opportunities because of the turnovers. Well, why do we have the turnovers? We could have just ran those plays. A traditional run.
I knew he was going to run a pop pass to start the game off at Memphis. I just had it in my soul. I made a joke about that in our preview, and then he ran out and he had pop pass to Cam Shanks. It's stuff like that. I'm telling you, man. Like he thinks long and hard about this kind of stuff. Like, he was pissed off about it being the first time in college or first time in football history that it was not ruled an incompletion. And so he was coming out there and doing the same damn stuff on the first play. I just knew it.
Can we see more Iverson hooks at quarterback? I mean,
nice throw. He evaded he evaded the pressure, had that extra blocker, got some extra time, threw the ball to Malachi Holt Bennett.
How many more times are we going to see this stupid formation where they pull out the linemen and like
It's innovative.
Never works, bro.
It's innovative, dude. Especially when you throw it out to on a rope to Trace Campbell. You bring Trace Campbell in motion.
Oh my God! Lose 2 yards. Yeah, that's some arena.
Hey, I like Trace Campbell. Yeah. He can run the ball. I'm just saying, like, ultimately, why you've got Amari Thomas and Ivers and Hooks, and you've got these dudes on the outside, Cam Shanks, and we're throwing the ball out to one of our backup quarterbacks or bringing them on the end around. Like, what is that? Hey, can I say something? One more thing I wanted to say before I forget is on, like, objectively about the 3.6 to the 2.4, it's a 1.2 differential we were talking about. I just want everybody to understand too. They're like, where is UAB going to get this money? No one is writing a check for $3.6 million and hitting a bank account to Trent Dilfer Enterprises tomorrow. This is going to be paid out in monthly installments over the next, whatever it is, like 3 years at $100K a month. Hey, $100K a month is I mean, it's serious money, but it's going to go on the balance sheet. And you have to think there's all these other things that go into play here. So there's all these other things, like there should be some type of rise or increase in television distribution. UAB and other Conference USA teams are on a scale as it relates to receiving money. So there should be some, I don't know what that looks like, but there should be some increase there. And you have to think about what is the consequence or whatever if UAB with lack of season ticket sales, if people are not buying season tickets, if people are not going to the games, money earned from concessions and parking and tickets sold and donation money. Like, what is, at the end of the day, if you start eating away at that and you're like, okay, yeah, it's a big number, but what is also a big number is the loss in all those other things too. And so I know 3.6 is a big number. It should never be that big. But at the same time, it's not a check that's going to be written tomorrow. You can gain a lot by making the right hire and having butts in seats and not losing fans and winning some games and having some momentum. Like, that will help offset that. And with the scale of the increase in conference television money, so I get that it's a lot of money, but let's not pretend that it's so we can't overcome it for that reason alone. If you make a change now, I do think because of the money situation, you do have to find someone that you are not going. There's no, hey, well, we could pay $2 million. UTSA is paying 2.5. You ain't going to be able to do that because you're also paying a buyout. So you've got to find someone that's affordable. And I think Skip is the kind of. I'm not advocating just for Skip alone. I'll give you an example. I think would Skip take the job if they fired Ingram too, and there's an interim AD. Would Skip be tied to that? He's coaching the Stallions right now. Like, it's like, so I'm just trying to get creative here and thinking, like, who could you get? What are buyouts for coordinators at the coordinator level? Would you go hire a Division I coordinator, and is their buyout substantial? Could they work out something with their school? So I do think you have to get creative, but if you can make a move, it's not like there's no way we can do it. You can argue that UAB administration's not going to do it, which I think that we all would say, yeah, they're probably not going to do it. But if they did do it, there is at least a logical way that they could do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Well said, Jimmy. I'm just trying to see for our BVP VIP Patreon supporters. Nathan asked, it appears that Dilfer is likely, this was a day ago. Dilfer is likely returning for another season. Do we have any faith that staff changes will be made, or do you expect this staff to stay intact and continue to year 3?
Y'all know me, like 3 weeks ago, I was like, I don't think staff changes are going to be made. My opinion has not changed. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Nothing has changed. I hope so.
Mm-mm.
I honestly believe that's like gross negligence, like, of the job. Like, I actually think that's like something about that is like something has to change. Like, has to. I don't care. I think it should be a coordinator or both, but it has to change. I don't think it's right. I don't know. You owe something to the fans. Yeah. If you go into next year, the same staff, no changes at all, as horrible as we were, what are you telling the fans?
Who is going to renew their season tickets if that happens? Who?
Nobody. And honestly, that's when you're starting to prove the conspiracy theories. I feel like guys are like conspiracy theories when they're trying to nuke it or whatever. I don't think you can nuke it, because after they put all of that into the stadium, into the facilities, it doesn't make sense to nuke UAB football. So to me, that's always out of my head because it's too much money following the money. But you're literally giving them ammunition when you say, you know what, the staff was great, the season was great. Run it back. What? That's what we're gonna do. It's 2 years of it. 2 years of it. Other teams, FAU, Charlotte, that was like, nah, we're not gonna even make it through the whole 2 years. Never mind. We're off of it. We have seen enough. Not only have the fans seen enough, or maybe we care about our fans. We care about this program more than we care about a guy.
And why do we make this move to go to the American Athletic Conference if we're not going to be serious about football? Like, that's ultimately, like, those programs are showing that we made this move. Charlotte has a football stadium expansion. FAU is in Florida and has a good recruiting pipeline and like has the potential. They saw it under Lane Kiffin, and they saw what basketball did with their last, Dusty May. Like they're serious about athletics. One thing I will say that did catch my attention in Trent's presser on Sunday was there was a comment about turnovers, and he said, "Well, it's especially difficult when you're not playing good defense too." I always felt like when you had a defense that was dominant or very good, there were certain times you could be a little bit more aggressive, blah, blah, blah. But that was one of the first times I kind of heard like a little whisper of like, well, the turnovers are expounded, the impact of them when you're also not playing good defense. That kind of made me think maybe we do see a change. Like that would be like one little ink, but I'm just still leaning on like, I don't know. I will say this. If UAB does not make changes at the head coach or at the coordinator, level, especially if they let, people go off that old UAB staff. We talked about that last time. Like, if those are changes, ugh. But hey, here's what I'm gonna do. For our fans out there, I'm gonna start a Blazer Victory support group. I'm gonna make T-shirts, and it's gonna be like AA. It's gonna be like, we're gonna have the folding chairs. We're gonna have some, truck stop, coffee. Some old donuts, some Krispy Kreme. We're going to get together. We're going to sit in a circle, and I will lead our meetings, and we will get through this together. It's going to be the Blazer Victory Support Group, and we're going to have. You can call me. You wake up in the middle of the night. It's like 2:15 a.m. and you're like, I'm having a nightmare. Dilfer's back. We have this beautiful facility, and I don't know what to do. You can call me. We'll have numbers.
That's the logo. That's the logo for.
Yeah, there's the logo for the group. It's going to be the Blazer Victory Support Group, and I got y'all's backs on this. If no changes are made, we're gonna make it happen. I'll meet you. We'll have an old church building downtown that we'll meet in the basement. And
there's plenty of empty buildings down there. Yeah.
Yes, there's one called Protect the Stadium if we don't make a change.
Ooh, he's right though. He's right. I was gonna say real quick. Mark Ingram, I saw the piece that Steve Irvine from BM Banner did, and even Mark talked about the gorgeous facilities, like I mentioned earlier, protective stadium, indoor practice facility. If you make UAB is going to be an attractive job for a lot of up and coming coaches. And as I said, it might be rough starting off for a new guy to come in, but he'll get there. And
listen, UAB is attractive.
It is, man.
Look at the facilities. Look at the stadium. Look at the fans and how passionate we are. Like UAB is a place that's just waiting for somebody to fill it up with excitement, to fill it up with some tangible play, and we will come. I promise you, we will. And look at where you are recruiting wise. You're in Alabama. You're in Birmingham. I mean, you got all of this talent right here, just right here where we are. But then Georgia. One thing I can say, you got guys on this staff that can recruit Georgia. You got Tennessee right there. Like everything, Florida's not too far. Mississippi is right there. Louisiana, we are in a hotbed right here. And those are all only states you really have to recruit, but you can still do JUCO, go to California, go to Kansas. Mm-hmm. Like you can get JUCO guys there. Like we have so many opportunities, like especially just on all fronts. It's a very attractive job. I don't care what Trent says. I don't care what we're not. It's not freaking Alabama. It's not Louisville. It's not. But we can do something special here. I don't see why we can't be Boise State.
Yeah.
I don't see
Cincinnati
why we can't
of the old. That was the model before. Why can't we be like Cincinnati?
Or UCF.
Or UCF, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All of these teams that moved on past us, TCU, that we were on par with, but they made the right moves and we didn't. So
Louisiana Monroe. Oh wait, never mind.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, hey guys, just programming note, there will not be a Rice preview. I'm sorry. Yeah, we will still be here for the Blazer Victory podcast, but we will not do a Rice preview. Shout out to the seniors. I hope they can get a dub to go out in style. But we are not. I mean, but it says a lot that a Rice program coached by an interim coach is favored by 7 points in Protective Stadium at
On
UAB.
Senior Day.
On Senior Day. That's well. I guess UAB will probably be not favored at Charlotte next week. I wouldn't assume. Probably be Charlotte 3.5, 4-point favorite.
Yeah,
If
we
UAB
so
wins
damn
these
bad.
next 2 games, how do you does it really matter? Like
No,
you have to have context. If it was going against head coaches, those players are thinking about portal. Why wouldn't they be? Your boss leaves at work and you're like, hey, what's my situation? You might be fielding some phone. Like those players are 1 foot out the door at those programs potentially. So I don't know how much weight you can put into if UAB is able to have a miraculous 2-game winning streak to end the season, get that first road win. It's not going to be, to me, impressive. And if they lose both, I mean, wow.
Yeah. Real quick, Mike. He said reaction to comments, halftime adjustments, and player attitude. Yeah, we've addressed that. And then Matt says, do you think after the operation will Coach Dilfer be coaching on the sideline this Saturday? Yeah, I would anticipate him being there. But I think that does it for this week. We appreciate all of our Patreon VIP, all of our Patreon supporters. Seriously,
Yeah.
I said it on the Patreon show. For y'all, we have no cancellations. After this abysmal season, we appreciate the support and thank you so much. But Darian, you want to send us out?
Blazer Nation, please don't die.